big grand staircases, very opulent looking and not very functional. This space though is actually quite functional. Vanderbilts are playing outside all day, or guests are playing outside all day, and afterwards they want to come in and swap on the couch, so the Vanderbilts provide food for them. They also have a nice fireplace to enjoy a fire in, and it's cool all day they'd be here. There's also a very convenient bathroom, it's right next to the front door. This is the guest bathroom in the coat room. We can't see the toilet in that room though, it's behind the second door, but we will see a go-day toilet upstairs, I promise. While you're looking in there though, do take time to look at the sink. You'll get a sense for the plumbing the Vanderbilts had in 1899. As you look down there, you can see the dining room. Again, very large dining room, very large banquet hall, but usually just for 2 people to eat their meals in. Not going to leave to eat at a small round table. And then when they had parties, they must have that rectangular table or make it as big as they needed it to be. Down at this end of the hall, you're going to see Frederick's office, the small little dark wooden room, and then the larger dark wooden room right next to it is not an office, though it looks like one. It's actually a den. Across the hall is the reception room. Through the middle is the living room. That's the largest entertainment space of this house. Again, no ballroom, just a very nice living room. But you look around and I'll be giving answer. Episcopalian, that was the religion of the East Coast at this time.
Reading room. Look at the stairway. Oh, look at that. Steel beams. Wow. This is the dining room. Frederick Vanderbilt's. Quite amazing. All these big chairs in here. There's an elevator to the next floor here. A really old one. You can see not only is there steel beams, but there's steel steps. Wow. Beautiful stairway.
Vanderbilts are quite open about all the antiques they collected, but they are also living in a very modern house by the time 1899 rolls around and it's all finished. So as you saw that bathroom in there, just keep in mind that's one of 14 bathrooms throughout the entire house, all of which had hot and cold running water, flush toilets, and the most modern appliances that money could buy at the time. They also had a fully electric house when they moved in, and that is a pretty big deal. This was the first house in the area to have electricity, so the Vanderbilts were not able to plug into a grid or steal some power from their neighbors. They had to make their own. What they did then was they hired Thomas Edison's company, and he came up and built a dam and a powerhouse on the creek that runs through this property, and that supplied this house and all the other outbuildings with DC electric power. So all the light fixtures you're going to see in this house were always electric. There's never any gas or oil lighting in this house. You're also going to see plenty of fireplaces in this house, but keep in mind that most of them are completely useless. They're just decorative. Only 3 of the 22 fireplaces in this house ever had anything burning in them. That one right there, the one in Frederick's office, and then the one upstairs in Frederick's bedroom. Every other fireplace was purely decorative. All their heat was coming out of registers, like the ones that you can see on either side of the front door. These registers are connected to the central heating system, which was powered by 2 coal boilers 2 levels below us in the sub-basement. And those boilers would heat up steam to fill radiators that were hidden behind the walls here. The Vanderbilts, while they do have this very modern radiator heating system, they do not want, of course, big ugly radiators sitting out and ruining the look of their Renaissance palace they have here, so they would hide them. For the Vanderbilts of the 3rd generation, these houses were the symbols of their wealth, the symbols of their power, and it wasn't going to do any good to have them looking in disrepair, burning down, crumbling in just a few decades. They needed these things to be sturdy, they needed them to be resilient. So they built a steel. By the end of dinner here, you probably have plenty to eat and plenty to drink. Everyone should be feeling very good about themselves. Afterwards, they would then separate into 2 smaller groups. Louise and the ladies would head off either to the living room or to the reception room across the hall, and then Frederick and the gentlemen would stay behind there or head into the men's sitting room to smoke some cigars, that den right there. As these 2 groups separated, they would have 2 different sets of after-dinner conversations. Remember, there is 2 different aspects to this Gilded Age society. There's, of course, the money, and that was the men's domain. They were supposed to inherit fortunes from their father, businesses from their father, build up these businesses, and then pass them on to their sons or their male heirs. For Louise and the ladies, though, their main concern was the society. They were the ones who bring the Vanderbilts into society. Before them, it was just a bunch of rich old men sitting on piles of money, and it's the women of the Vanderbilts that are building these houses, throwing the big parties, and organizing the guest lists. The main job of the women, though, in this Gilded Age society was to determine who should be on the guest list and who was